Good morning. It's Saturday, the 28th of July, 2018. Welcome to this morning's United Kingdom talk. Well, it's cooled off a bit, wasn't it? I'm pleased to say another very, very hot day yesterday. I've learnt, as I mentioned while we were down in up in Lincolnshire, that I've learnt to turn the air conditioning on in the bedroom. That's if it hasn't been on all night, because I have to tell you, it was on all night on Thursday going into Friday up at the Caravan. Oh my word! Never heard it. Never felt anything like it. So it was already on, but I've learnt now to turn on my little air conditioning unit. For those of you who are technically minded, it's actually the bedroom isn't big in my Caravan. It's not big at all. You've got enough. You haven't got enough for a king size bed. A double bed with room to walk around one side. Okay. And in one corner at the back near my head is the air conditioning thing, which is 12,000 BTU. Now it says a 9,000 one would be suitable for a room that size. But being a Caravan, it's a metal box and it heats up a hell of a lot more than a house does. I've got to tell you that now. So I've learnt to turn that on first thing in the morning, because the blokes who were fixing another Caravan said if you wait till it's hot, then it has trouble getting that temperature back down. It's, you've got to turn it on in the morning and just leave it and throw care away to the ever-increasing electricity bill. I haven't had an electric bill down there yet. Mind you, I've only been there 2 weeks. And I mean, at the end of the day, how often do you use air conditioning here in the UK? I haven't got mine on in here today. It's perfectly all right outside. It's a nice day, nice and cool outside. So that's the thing. I don't do much on a Friday because I have to leave for work. I have an early sleep in the afternoon, and then I leave Lincolnshire to come to London for work. So I took my rubbish out to the bins just after I finished the show. Now, the bins are about 5 minutes walk from the Caravan, because I'm at one end and the bins are at the other. But that's okay. You just go every couple of days. I don't even use bin liners. I've still... Can you believe, just before they banned, not caravans, carrier bags, right, just before they banned those, I got loads of them. And I literally am just coming to the end of those now. I'm just coming to the end of my carrier bags. I've got probably about 20 left, and then that's it. I'm going to have to buy bin liners. God's sake, man. I hate buying stuff. Can I tell you, I've never bought towels. I've never bought towels or cutlery or crockery or glasses. All those come from my mum's, who's sadly no longer with us. But I kept all those bits and pieces. I've never bought a towel in my life. It's fab, isn't it? My mate comes round here and he says you could do with some... Even my sister, actually. Even my sister was out the other day. She said, you could do with some new towels. There's nothing wrong with the other ones. Years of wear left in those, dear. They're only about 30 or 40 years old, some of those towels. You wash them and you use them again. There's too much chucking away in this world. There really is, dear. Why spend money when you don't... You see, that's why you're all so poor. That's why you're all so poor. Oh, let's just buy that. Oh, that looks nice and sparkly and new. Let's buy that. My mate's like that. He probably changes his entire wardrobe twice a year because it don't look new anymore. God's sake, man, talk about a wasted things. If you've got any old towels you don't want, bring them into Central Station where I do the karaoke on a Monday and Friday. I'll happily take them off you. Though I don't mind second-hand, doesn't bother me in the slightest. What a terrible waste. Look. Let's go to John Lewis and buy some towels down there. Oh, that's a nice one. Only £60. What, for one towel? £60 for one towel? God, man. Although I have ordered something from John Lewis today. I have. I'll come to that in a minute. I had to order something of John Lewis. So I took my stuff to the bins. I'm pleased to say they have now emptied, up at the Caravan site, the bins that contain the recycling. Because they left them 1 week. Why? Because the bins weren't closed. Boston Council. They're horrendous. My sister's gets her bins emptied. I don't know if she's the same council as me. She only lives down the road from my Caravan site. And not the Caravan site that my Caravan is on. And... she says that they empty the bins, and then, right, then there's another lorry or a little car or vehicle of some sort that comes around after and puts little stickers on the bins to indicate if you've put anything wrong in. I mean, you can. I've got to say, you can understand it from the council's point of view. You can, because in the caravan site, there's recycle ones and there's other ones, right? The other ones are overflowing. The rubbish is now piling up in front of the great big Paladin bins. We don't have wheelie bins, not wheelie bins for each caravan. What you do, you have your own bin, little thing in the kitchen type thing, you know what I mean, with a carrier bag. Or, if you're rich, a proper bin liner in it. If you want to waste money on bin liners or those. And, of course, all made of plastic, which isn't good, is it? I remember, do you know what? I hadn't thought of this until this moment. I remember we never had plastic bin liners. No. My mum, oh, you couldn't do this now. I tell you why you couldn't do it. My mum used to put newspaper at the bottom of the bin. Anyone else of an age remember this? Yeah, that's right. That's right. My mum used to put some newspaper at the bottom of the bin, and then you just use it as normal, and then you chuck it in the chute, because we lived in a like a masonette, one on top of the other, you know, a long balcony, and everyone put their rubbish in the chute. And then she would do that, and then she would come and clean the bin out with water. I know some of the millennials and some of the youngsters who just heard clean a bin out. Oh, I don't want to get my hands dirty. Oh, no. Bit like that, is it? Yeah, she used to put newspaper in the bottom bin. Of course, you couldn't do that now, because the newspaper has to be separated from the household rubbish, because that gets recycled. I don't know, what would be better? I'm sure it would be better to have newspaper in the bottom than a plastic bag, because it just sits there for years, doesn't it? Hundreds of years, my rubbish is going to be sitting, buried somewhere for at least 1,000 years. Not that the planet will be here by that point. We'll be gone by then, mate. You don't think the human race is going to last more than another couple of 100 years, do you? God, you're mad if you think that. Not going to happen. That either the planet will be destroyed or there'll be robots killing us. One of the two. Or we'll run out of food. Too many people as it is. You know. I've taken out hitmen. I've employed hitmen to kill all the people down my road because they just get in my way while I'm bringing the car up and down. That's outrageous. Donald Trump's men can do it. He knows people with guns, doesn't he? So went out to the bins as they are all overflowing. Apparently, they decided that they weren't taking those bins last week. Why? Because the lids weren't closed. I mean, it's just ridiculous. There was nothing wrong in the bins. It was just that the lids aren't closed. Oh, well, we can't take that. Well, so now we've got 6, I think it's either 6 or 8 massive green bins overflowing with rubbish on the front now. So I don't know how that works. And when do they come again? Wednesday. So that's what it was like yesterday. Now, there will be people gone on the caravan site, the weekend people we call them. Not proper caravan people, dear. Weekend holiday makers who will come down there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you see. You know, for a few days. And they probably make more rubbish than the people that are kind of living there, I would imagine, because you had the barbecues and all this business, dead animals being roasted away on bits of metal, shoving it in their fat faces. Oh, don't mention fat, dear. Don't mention... I've just weighed myself. I know why that is. I've been very, very bad last week. I think I'm about a pound over, maybe 1.5 over my target range. I've got to watch myself as I go up there. It's all the chips, you see. It's the chips and the ice creams, but hopefully not so many ice creams next week, or maybe none at all. I must punish myself. So that's the rubbish. Let's have a look. I was talking, there's an old man who works on the site. Lovely chap. I think his name was Dave, and it was him and someone else talking at the front of the bins while I was at. I said, all right, boys, so where am I going to put this? He said, well, just make yourself your room as you can. And he was telling me that they haven't been collected last time, and the next time they come is Wednesday. And he says, well, I've got to go through them all now. I said, what do you mean you've got to go through them all? He said, this bloke, employed by the caravan site, part of the caravan site, he has to empty, I kid you not, he has to empty the bins and go through them to check that no one's put the recycled stuff in there, because otherwise, Boston Council, they simply won't take the bin. Now, why on earth? Now, Lincolnshire is very beautiful, like Yorkshire. Yorkshire is better. Lincolnshire itself is very beautiful. You can drive for miles and miles and miles and you don't see rubbish on the ground. Okay? But if this carries on, you can see people dumping rubbish, can't you? I mean, it happens round here. We were driving, where were we driving? Along near my sister, through this country, down this road. Was it, might have been on the way to the caravan site, and, you know, nice and clean. And there in front of us, an entire bag of McDonald's rubbish. You know, the chip wraps had all been just chucked out the window of a car. Why do people do that? I mean, it happens a lot around here. You can't really walk around here and not see rubbish. I go around the house picking it up. I've got a grabber. I've got a rubbish grabber. Very good, dear. You can order one of Amazon only to, and then go around to us. You know, if everyone did that, if everyone just once a week, or if you've got time, once a day, how long would it take you to walk around the few houses near you and pick up the rubbish off the floor? Just imagine how nice it would be. That no one does. I think there's me who does it. And there's a lady who lives quite far down. Now, I've seen her travel out quite far. I mean, maybe she's got nothing else to do. I don't know. I mean, if I was to introduce her to these shows, at least she'll have something to watch on the telly, wouldn't she? I bought a new gadget, by the way. Bought a new gadget. So that's the bins. Then as I came back to my caravan, Can Ken. Now, we call him Can Ken. Right, he's a retired chap, mid-70s, lovely man. He used to drive skips, and big lorries. He's retired now, and his lovely wife Elaine. And there were two of the other caravan people in our little row. There's only about, I think there's about 8 caravans in my little row, and I'm on the end. Oh, they're lovely, all lovely people. I've met them all now, And two of the other neighbours, they said, oh, Chris, have you got a minute? I said, yeah, what's up? He said, we want to move this gazebo. They've got like one of those gazebo things from their veranda onto the grass because they were having a settee delivered, right? And they're putting down the fake grass on the veranda, which actually I've got outside mine. And that looks really nice. So I went over there, and as I got there, this settee arrived. He said, oh, we're going to have to leave it now. We'll have to wait till the settee's done. I said, well, come back and get me from the caravan, and I'll give you a hand later. So we did that. So I went back to my caravan, had some lunch, and I had, what was it now? Corn steaks. Corn steaks, which you do under the grill. The only thing is, the grill in the caravan is I've got a freestanding cooker, and the grill in the caravan is a bit slow. It does take, I would say, twice as long, maybe a bit longer than it does in my electric grill here. And I mentioned this to Elaine a little bit later on, and she said, "Do you want to get yourself a George Foreman grill?" She said, so much quicker. You just put your stuff in there and ever so quickly. I said, will it do like non-animal stuff? She said, anything you put in the grill, you put in this George Foreman grill thing. Anyway, so I thought, well, that's a good idea. And while I was sitting there just getting ready to talk to you today, I thought I'd look one up. I thought, look at Argos, George Foreman grill. So I've bought it up there. Now, I've had a sandwich maker before. I've had a couple of those. Oh, a nightmare to keep clean, aren't they? Oh, God. Oh, they were just a pain in the arse, those sandwich makers. George Foreman grill does seem to be similar to that. And then I bought it up on here, 99 quid? Or they do a cheaper one for £89. That's a bit much, isn't it? Must be a cheaper one than that. Can anyone suggest me a decent, grill that I can use, that I can plug in, that's going to be a lot quicker than this damn gas thing that you spend half your life under, waiting for things to go brown? £99, a George Foreman grill? I don't think so, dear. Have I become tight? Or maybe they do. Has anyone got one on eBay? Hang on a minute, let's have a look. eBay. Someone must have a second-hand one of those they don't want. I've started, but isn't it terrible? George. Oh, hang on. George for Foreman Grill. Here we are. George Foreman Grill. 1 moment, please. £26. That's better. Click and collect. Ozaroo.co.uk. Who the hell are they? It's a square one. It don't look like the one in Argos. £26. That's better. £26, £38, £30. Oh, that's better. Oh, I didn't realise there's all different types. I thought it was just one. I remembered it being advertised on the telly and it was just one thing. You never used to be able to buy it in a shop. You had to order it from one of those places, didn't you? You know, K-Tel or someone like that. Do you remember the K-Tel adverts on the telly at Christmas and at other times of the year, selling those double albums, the very best of Barry Manilow, now available on K-Tel. Do you remember the K-Tel record selector? And you'd put your albums in this like holder thing, and then it would hold 50 albums, 50 LPs, and you'd flick the first one forward, and then the others were supposed to flick through, and then you just stop where you want, take the album out, push the albums back, put the album on the record player, play it. Right, and you push the other album play. When you finished, you'd take it off the record player, put it in the slip, you'd flick forward the first album in that little rack again, and it would and it would stop at the place, miraculously, at where you just remove the album. How fantastic was that? Why can't we buy these anymore? I bet they're available on eBay as well. Be excellent, wouldn't it? So that was that, and then Elaine came over about just after I finished dinner, actually, about 10 minutes later, and she said, "Oh, have you still got a couple of minutes?" I said, "Yeah." So we went over, and gazebos are incredibly light. So we just picked this thing up, lifted it over the veranda, and put it down. I was so pleased because they're all, I was the youngest one. There were 4 of us. I was the youngest one there. At 55, I was well impressed with that. I said, I can't believe at last, once again, I'm with a group of people and I'm the youngest one there. I felt like a chicken. How pleasing is that? And then after that, I've got a little video to show you here. It's only about 10 seconds long. Okay, after that, I was just about to go to bed and planes started flying over the Caravan. Now, my nephew, Jimmy, had already texted me to say there's an air show on, so it's probably going to keep you awake, which it wouldn't do, to be honest. Now, there is an RAF site very near the Caravan site where my Caravan is, and they're forever doing practices. I suppose they're training. And these jets that look like triangles are always flying over. And these planes kept flying over. And I've got just a very, very short video of this for you. Okay, so this happened yesterday afternoon. Yes, the old red arrows straight over the top of my Caravan. And if they weren't noisy enough, there's also a bomber that flies over. I can't remember what it was called now, but you really hear the bomber. It's got just a completely different tone as it goes. And let me tell you, when you're in the Caravan, they sound like they're about to land on the top. Eventually, I went into my nice, cool bedroom and I tried to get a bit of a sleep. And I did hear the planes keep going, but it didn't bother me at all. Noise of planes doesn't really bother me, or trains, or certainly wild animal noises like birds singing. Rain on the Caravan roof is one of the most delightful sounds. What bothers me is people talking loudly. I can't bear it. Listening to people chitter, chatter, chatter, chitter all the time. And also certain power drills, certain power tools, like the where that circular ring thing goes around and cuts through someone's head or something like that. So they're the planes that came round. We've also got an ice cream man comes into the site. And he backs up right to my caravan. How fantastic. A little bell comes in. Ding, 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 ding. Italian man. I had a chat with him for 10 minutes as well. I chat to anyone. Once I'm out of work, I chat to anyone. Sometimes I'm at work and people trying to talk to you all the time. And you just haven't got the time to do it. You're either packing up or setting up. Or, I tell you what happens sometimes at work. You're walking through the crowd, either to pick up pens or pick up books, or simply to have a little break from being standing on the stage. You walk through, and then people try and have a conversation with you. The trouble is, if you do, you can miss the person singing on the stage, and then there's a gap, and I hate that. Hate it when that happens. Or people grab you. People grab you all the time. Oh, Chris, and you're trying to get somewhere. You've got 3 minutes to do it. So you lose the first 30 seconds while someone's on the stage, okay? Because you're adjusting their sound. Then you walk, and then when you're trying to get to the bar or something, someone goes, oh, Chris, like that all the time. And you can't get there. I'm not like that when I'm not at work. No, I talk to anyone. Hours. I mean, I look at some people's faces when I'm talking to them. Quite honestly, I think some of them are glad to get away. So there we are. That was my day yesterday. The planes were fantastic. And that made me proud to be British, watching those planes going over the top there. Never stopped me having an afternoon sleep. Left the caravan at 4 o'clock. Now, my sat-nav was telling me that I was going to be in London in 3 hours and 5 minutes, which would have got me there far too early, like 45 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes before I wanted to get there. So I slowed down. I was doing about 55 on the motorway all the way down, and eventually I got to London about half past 7, which was perfect, absolutely perfect. It's a lot quicker to do 140 miles from Lincolnshire than it is to do 30 miles from Berkshire. From Berkshire to London at night time, 2 hours. From Lincolnshire to London, 3 hours. Work that out. It's mad, isn't it? And of course, I come in at the north end, and the traffic really, I have no traffic whatsoever from Lincolnshire right the way to where the A1 joins the A2, the North Circular. 205, is it? Where the A1 and the North Circular cross, that's where I got the first bit of traffic. Unbelievable. I'd literally travelled for 2.5 hours, nearly 3 hours before I got the traffic. It just shows you. And yet, coming from here, from Berkshire to London on a Friday night takes 2 hours. And you hit the traffic 5 minutes after leaving my house with the traffic trying to leave Bracknell. Funny, isn't it? So there we are, 3 hours and 5 minutes. Great karaoke last night. 3 of the Manilow ladies turned up last night. The delightful Anne with bright pink hair. Good morning, Anne, if you're with us. Rachel was there. Wendy was there. And Wendy very kindly bought my Barry Manilow tickets for Thursday in September. When is that? Thursday, a Thursday in September. I'm going to see Barry Manilow. I'm going on a Saturday as well, seeing him twice a week. So looking forward to that. We had some new singers again last night. A good amount of people. Most people sung 3 times last night, which is just perfect. Just perfect. I sang a song which I hadn't sung for some time. Donna Summer's version of Could It Be Magic? Could it be the magic at last? I started in the wrong key. And it was awful. It was awful. I couldn't get to the high notes because I started in the wrong key. The trouble is, I'm a great believer. If you start, so you must finish it off. No matter how bad it sounds and how many people leave the room. So I think I was possibly the worst singer in there last night. But never mind. Came home. A lot of my plants have been suffering since I've been away outside. My lovely neighbour Dave and Karen, they water some of the plants. I cannot possibly expect them to water all the plants. I've been spending 45 minutes to an hour every day going around with a great big watering can in and out the house, in, out, front and back. And I looked last night, when I got back last night about 1:30, because I stopped off at the small Esso in Barnes to get a few vegetables on the way home and some blueberries. And I come back and thought, and the hydrangeas were the worst. Like, what? All the flowers have dropped and the leaves are just like that. So I went around, and a few of the others, I've gone around and watered them all last night. This morning, before I come and spoke to you, I've watered them again this morning, and I hopefully will pick them back up again if I'm lucky, but I'm not so sure. We've had a bit of rain. I drove through 2 storms last night on the way to work. So bad at one point that there were puddles on the motorway that were, you know, sometimes you go for a puddle on the motorway and you can feel it holding you back, can't you? You can feel the water is slowing the car down. It was a bit like that last night. So I watered all the plants last night and this morning. I'll do them again just before I go to bed, probably this afternoon as well. And again in the house as well. I mean, there was one of the plants that was like this. Anyway, I've watered that last night. That's picked up all right. I suppose they last so long, don't they? But not forever. And that's it, really. I haven't got many letters. Didn't get many letters while I was away. But I bought a new gadget. I've got to show you this. This is fantastic. And it's fantastic because I can watch my Netflix and the BBC iPlayer now on my telly in the caravan. Because I've got no direct internet connection now. I don't have a wired in connection. I'm using the 4G, which is fine. I'm on the 3 network, right? I've got unlimited minutes, unlimited texts, and unlimited data. And it cost me £25 a month, that does. That's on the 3 network. I've also got tethering, okay? But that is limited to 30 gig a month. Now, when I do one of these video shows from down there, from up north, that costs me anything between 1.5 and 2 gig worth of data. And I've got 30 a month. So if I do 4 shows a week from there, you can see that's eating into it. So I can't really use it to stream to the telly as well, because that's using my tethering data. However, look, at enormous expense, just a moment, I've got this from Apple. Now, this is fantastic. This plugs into the bottom of my phone, okay, like I don't know what it's called, a USB, no, is it a Firewire? Firewire? I don't know what it's called. It doesn't matter. So this plugs into the bottom of the phone, okay? Like that. And you bring up your iPlayer or your Netflix. I've got Netflix and iPlayer on there. Then you plug this HDMI wire into this, okay? And then you plug the other end into the telly and it mirrors the screen on here onto the telly. Thus, not using my tethering data, but using my unlimited data to watch Netflix and iPhones on the player, on the telly at home. How fantastic is that? Because it come to Tuesday night, and I just watched Holby City, and I was going round to my nephew's house, and the programme finished, and coming up next on BBC One, in that lovely BBC voice, next on BBC One, was it Home Girl? You know, the army girl. What's that called? Home Girl or something like that, I think it's called. So, and I thought, I can't watch that. And I can't watch it on the iPlayer because I've got nothing. It's not a smart telly that I've got down. It's only a second-hand. My sister gave it to me. It's like a 32-inch telly, which is the perfect size for the caravan, but it's not a smart telly or anything like that. But it's got HDMI. So I can now plug that in with this and watch the iPlayer now. Or any of my Netflix stuff. I mean, who knows? A new episode of Dynasty might be released on Netflix, which is truly dreadful. Some of the worst acting you've ever seen. Have you seen the news lot of Dynasty? The worst one is Fallon's friend. Now, she's tall, thin, always wears high-heeled shoes, and she's got frizzy hair. She is the most worst actress ever. Even actually the bloke who plays Blake Carrington isn't that good either. But they're all getting paid for it. They're in paid jobs. So don't knock it, mate. So that's my new little gadget there. I have heard, I've got a little note in the door that says my neighbour has received the new picture, the new backdrop, which I've got for the caravan. Last week I went out and took some pictures and me and my nephew chose one together and I sent that away and it's been blown up into like a backdrop and that is with my neighbour at the moment. So I shall inspect that and you should see that next week when we do our shows from Lincolnshire, all right? And the other thing I ordered this morning, just before I came on, because I do miss it, after I come in the bed last night, after I got in the bed last night and I laid there on my lovely John Lewis mattress topper, and I think, oh no, I did buy a cheap one down there, which was like, I think about 30 quid, something like that for a double bed. But I miss my John Lewis mattress topper, unfortunately. I missed that. Okay, so I ordered one from John Lewis today, and I go and pick that up from Waitrose tomorrow, which is excellent. They put the price of those up, haven't they? Blimey. I'm paying for the double more than I paid for that King a year and a half ago. But never mind. Comfort. What price can you put on sleeping in comfort, eh? What price can you put on that? Exactly. None at all. So that was my day. I've read my meter, my electric and gas meter, which is hardly moving now because I'm only here a couple of days a week. And done some accounts, sent my agent 50 quid a week. And that's it. Today I've got to go to the shop, got to go to the chemist, hoover, water the plants again, and that's about it. That is my day yesterday. All right, let's do some messages. Let's start off on the text messages. Good morning to Maureen. She was at the karaoke last night, looking very cool and meeting new friends. Good morning, Maureen. Hope you're well. Over on YouTube, we're starting YouTube this morning. Paul Mosley, good morning, Candyman. I did sing Candyman last night. That was better than the first song I sung, wasn't it? Did you not hear the first one? Oh, it was horrendous. I couldn't get to those high notes. I was screaming. Baby, do high upon the hillside. Could it be magic? Come, come, oh, come into my... And I couldn't get up the air. I started it too high, you see. Morning, Joanna. Hello, darling. In the USA. Good morning. Good morning to John Parrish. Morning, John. Halogen oven is the way to go. John, I had a T-foul halogen oven, which was a glass affair, and I bought it to do chips in. Slimming World chips. And it looked fantastic when you turned them on. But after 45 minutes, I'm still waiting for these bloody chips to be done. So, and then I looked it up on the internet, and there were stories of these things literally shattering suddenly. Someone would be, and suddenly the thing would just explode. So I sent it back to Amazon, who are very good at taking stuff back, I must admit. Amazon are brilliant at taking. If you've got anything you want sending back, you just send it back, and that's it. So no, halogen oven, no, don't want one of those. No, a bit dangerous, I think. John says there's a guy on my site stealing front gates. Is it what on your on what site? What do you mean on your site for stealing front gates? Who's nicking front gates? Good morning, Darren. Morning, Darren. I watched Sherry Houston on the Caravanning programme on Channel 5 last night. Was disappointed not to see you on it, Chris. Yeah, not as disappointed as me, Darren. I don't understand why they're not asking me to be on these programmes, dear. You know, I'd love to read the news, but there are times where I just could not stop laughing when I see some of these news stories. That's fantastic, that Caravan programme, isn't it? I love it. And it's so warm, just a bit like your own programme, to be honest. It's very warm. Certain programmes are very warm and you want to be there. The other programme's starting on the 1st of August again, which you'll like, Darren. It's when the pensioners go to other countries. I think it might be India, and they see what it would be like to retire there. I can't remember what it's called now. BBC One Colour, that one. Okay? You know, do you know the one I mean? Pensioners go abroad. There'll be about 5 of them. Who have they had on there? Oh, I think Judi Dench has been on there. Oh, she's fab, isn't she? Judi Dench. And who's the other lady? Who's the other? I have so much respect for those people. Judi Dench and... Oh, God. Downton Abbey. You know who I mean. You know who I mean, don't you? You know who I mean. John says, can't say anything to him in case he takes offence. Very funny. Very funny. Morning, Darren. Morning, Darren. Paul's watching the Caravan programme as well. Yes. Great. The Caravan programme is great. It's so warm. If you haven't seen it yet, gang, Channel 5, Friday nights, either 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Can't watch it at that time, doesn't matter. Get it on the 5 iPlayer type thing or whatever they call their one. There's so many different players now, isn't there? I can't keep up with it. I know what it's called. The Real Marigold Hotel. That's the one that's on BBC One Colour. Okay? I believe it starts on the 1st of August, and it really is a very good watch, that one. You won't be offended by anything. You will feel that you want to be there, okay? Along with the Caravan programme, which is hilarious. The best part of the Caravan programme, it was not this week. I haven't seen this week's one. Last week's one, there's a bit where Tony Blackburn is driving this caravan, and all of a sudden there's a massive scrape. It goes like that, and he went like that. It was hilarious watching his face. He'd gone like that because they keep hitting the sides of these caravans. They can't do it. Colin Baker is hilarious. And Sherry Houston, oh, she just fab. And Sonia as well. Sonia just laughs all the time. I think me and Sonia would get on well. I've worked with Sonia once. Oh, she was wonderful to work with. I felt sorry for her, really. I was in the back room of somewhere, which will remain nameless. She was on in the front room, and there was someone else. Well, usually I used to work the sound in the front room, and someone else was working it. And I was in the back room in like the club bit doing some DJing. And Sonia came on, and all I could hear was bloody feedback. And I thought, no, Chris, it's not your business. Leave it alone. Someone else is dealing with that today. And it carried on. And she'd got to the second. You can almost accept a bit of feedback at the beginning. It's like when I do the karaoke nights. You know, sometimes the very first song, the sound isn't always right. Let me give you a little bit of advice. Never do the first song at a karaoke. Because I'm still setting the sound. I've got an idea of how it should be, but you never really know until someone starts singing, and it's not always perfect for the first song. It's a bit different with karaoke anyway, because everyone's got a different voice. Some people are singing like that, and they can't, and they keep saying, "Can you turn it up? Can you turn it up?" No, you can't. You can only turn it up so far. If you've got a really quiet voice, people can't hear you. You've got to shout in that microphone. And other people absolutely scream into the microphone and can't understand why it's distorted. They literally got it up here like this and screaming in the microphone all the time. Well, you can't do that either. You need it a bit away like that, not with your lips touching there. And anyway, this screeching, this feedback was continuing into the second show. Now, if you've got someone like Sonia on the stage, now that to me is a proper star. No disrespect to any karaoke singers, but she's more important than all of us because she is a star. Sonia is a star. So I thought, well, that's 2 songs now, and he still ain't got that sound right. So I went round there, and I knew the bloke who was working it, and he saw me at the side and immediately took a step back, which indicated to me he wanted some help. I said, okay then. So I just went over there, pulled that down a little bit, and took music down a bit. I said, there you go. Don't turn it up, whatever you do. That better be all right now. And it didn't feed back again. But honestly, dear me. But Sonia was an absolute delight to meet. She really was. Such a nice man. And her manager. Is he her husband? I'm not quite sure. And her manager, whoever it was. Because some of the managers, they're right arseholes. Let me tell you that. I've come across some managers who are arseholes. And it's usually the managers of people who haven't made it yet. They're the worst ones. The people that have made it, like other people I've had the privilege of working with, Bucks Fears, Save Your Kisses for Me, the Beverly Sisters. All these people are as nice as pie. And their managers. People who haven't made it yet, their managers come and they might do a lacklustre performance, of which they blame you for not doing the sound right. Do me a favour. And they're all on the gear as well. They're all on the gear after these managers, honestly. So they've got the mood swings as well. Terrible, really terrible. Good. Okay, over on Facebook Live. Who's on there this morning? One moment, please. Good morning to Ray Reynolds. Morning, Ray. Diane Jebb's there. Oh, I've lost your messages. Where they go? Ray Reynolds is there. Yes, Diane. Good morning, Diane. Marcus. Oh, hang on. This isn't flowing very well, is it? What's going on there? I think my fingers are all sweating and I can't get the music up. Here we are. Marcus. Good morning, Marcus, who says, I love the Disney theme music. Which Disney theme music do you like, Marcus? Which particular film do you like? I like... my favourite music, I think, is probably from The Little Mermaid. And... there's some beautiful Disney songs, aren't there? And there's some are just annoying as well. Morning, Elaine. Morning, Elaine in Israel. Good morning to Adam La Plumber. Nice, he turned up last night in the karaoke as well and sung some madness. And his other half, Royston. Good morning to you too. Good morning to Donna Kay, who says, is everyone in the UK like you? No, most of them are boring, I'm afraid, Donna. Most of them are boring. Donna says there's no rubbish around my house. Well, you're a good girl then, darling. Good girl. We can't have rubbish dropped all over the place. Good morning to Leon Colgan. Vectis Humphrey, good morning. Make sure you get the non-animal George Foreman grill. Oh, do they do a non-animal one? One where it must have a little label. Do not cook dead animals in this George Foreman grill. He's a fat bloke, isn't he? George Foreman, when he advertises his stuff. Christ, I think he's been using his grill too much. Ray Reynolds, Supremes a go-go on the K-Tel record selector. Oh, that was great, that gadget. I bet you can still get them on eBay. Donna says, what's the purpose of this video? To have a bit of a chat and a laugh. I thought that would be a bit obvious, Donna, really. Ben, good morning. Colin. Morning, Colin. Laura Rickner, hello. Chicken, throw him on the grill. Chicken, throw me on the grill. No, we don't do animals. We don't do dead animals. What is a caravan? It's something with that people can live in or just go on holiday. Vectis is horrified that I do 55 miles an hour on the motorway. What's the problem with that, Vectis? What's the problem with that? 55 mile an hour on the motorway on the inside lane? In your way, take over. Take over. Do you know there's idiots who go right up your arse on the inside lane on the motorway and flash their lights? You got two other lanes. Take over. That's what they're for. Go as slow as I like. Thank you very much. Got to save fuel. I managed to get 55 miles per gallon last night on the way back from Lincolnshire. I've got to tell you, it's not 55 miles per gallon when I go up there. Cool. Middle of the night. The A406 is the road that crosses with the A1. Thank you, Vectis and Ben as well. Hello to Abdirizak Mohammed, who's watching on one of the Learn English website groups. Good morning. Laura says, how much rough ballpark was your new home? My parents need to downsize. The Caravan, what did I pay for the Caravan? 8,000. 8,000. You can get cheaper than that and you can get dearer than that. You can go up to hundreds of thousands for a Caravan. I got a really good deal. £8,000 I paid for mine. Okay. Ben says, our girl. Thank you. That's the Army Girl program that I like to watch. Very good. That's on BBC One. I think it's just finished, actually, that program. Hello to Dennis, who says, what's that thingy called for the phone? Could do with one myself. Oh. Right. Now, let me tell you, I meant to mention this. This is from Apple. Okay? This cost 49 quid. Outrageous, I know. 49 quid. You can get cheaper ones, but they don't guarantee that you can stream your Netflix or your iPlayer through the cheaper ones. I tried that this morning on both iPlayer and Netflix, and it worked. Okay? So don't try and save 15 quid. Get one of these. Get it from Apple. Now, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called now. But look, it's got a fire... Well, I don't know what that's called. Lightning conductor or something. It's got a lightning conductor there. And on that end, you've got another lightning conductor socket. That would be presumably to power it. If you wanted to power your phone at the same time. And there is a HDMI socket there. And then you need a HDMI lead from there to the telly, okay? I can't remember what it's called. Ask me next time and I'll see if... Oh, hang on. It might be on the on the receipt. Here. One minute. Where's the... Where's the damn invoice then? Is that an invoice? No, not an invoice. Oh, here we are. It is a... Right, pay attention now, dear. A Lightning Digital AV Adapter dash ZML. £49. Okay, lot of money, but it'll work. Don't buy the cheap one. I reckon you'll buy it twice, 3 times before you find one that works. Never, with electrical stuff, don't try and cut corners. Just buy the one and, you know, feel sick when you've paid the money, okay? So it's a Lightning Digital AV Adapter dash ZML. All right? That's exactly what it's called. And you'll be able to watch your stuff from the phone. Fantastic piece, fantastic little gadget, actually. Good morning to Paul Ashurst, who's watching the show from Australia this morning, one of my favourite countries. I love it there. Been 5 times. Good morning, Paul. Dennis looks at something called a Chromecast. Okay, I don't know if a Chromecast will work with an iPhone. I don't know. Also, I don't know if you can stream. That might be classed as tethering, you see. That might be classed as tethering. I don't know. I don't know if that would work or not, okay? Good morning, Danny Gibbs. Watch this space get you on the telly. I don't think so. Laura, someone would have seen these sad, lonely little shows that I do by now or heard me radio, and someone would have offered a part by now somewhere or something on the telly. It won't happen, dear. We have to be happy with what we have. Much that it makes me cry. We've got to be happy with what we have, dear. And the fact that I'm able to come in here every morning and have a little chat with you and have no restriction. I could say anything here. The last thing I'd ever want to do is upset someone or purposely offend them. You know, if you or anyone else is accidentally offended, then sometimes I do think it's a problem with the person who's been offended rather than the person who's given it out. Because I don't want to offend anyone, ever. Why would you want to upset someone purposely? You wouldn't, would you? You know, but you must also remember that some of us of an age, we say things that were never ever considered offensive. We might call people certain names. Now, at school, I was called 2 names, Bucktooth, where my teeth used to stick out like that, Bucktooth and Bender, because I was gay. But neither of these 2 terms really they didn't bother me at all. We were just kids. So the same, you know, I'm quite happily sit here and say, good morning and welcome. This is your old puff, Chris Reardon, sitting here. Now, that to me is just a little, doesn't matter. Other people now would be horrified and offended that I had referred to gay people as puffs. But I am one, and I am referring to myself as that. So no one can say anything, you see. But no, I would never ever want to offend anyone. But I honestly feel that there's a lot of people, and there's more and more of them every day, who are out seeking to be offended. I know, how can I say this? Okay. I know someone who writes a television show. And there was, you know, the bloke, the Chinese bloke, Mr. Wu. I think it's Mr. Wu does does a Chinese restaurant. And he's had complaints about that. Oh, it's really offensive. No, it's not. It's humour. It's humour. And that there isn't a thin line. In my mind, there is not a thin line between humour and being offended. There isn't. There's a very thick line. If you think there's a thin line and we keep crossing over it, if I keep crossing over it, then I have to say to you, what are you doing here then? Switch it off and be done with it. No, I don't. I'd never want to offend anyone, and that's it. Danny says, I love Celebrities 5 Go Camping. It's great, isn't it? It is great, that programme. Ben, the real Marigold Hotel. Thank you. That was the one I was thinking of. Maggie Smith is the other one. Yeah, she was on the The Real Marigold Hotel. I'm sure she was last time as well, which was a great pen. Judi Dench and Maggie Smith were in the movie, not the TV show. Oh, right, okay. Adam, hello. Chris, there are so many right now. There are so many type of players to choose from. I personally love the Reard and Rewind on United Kingdom Talk. Good morning to Maddow. Please speak slowly. Nope, I can't do that. Otherwise, we'll never get through it, all right? Ben's never had the George Foreman grill, but I did have my Frank Bruno toaster. I only got 2 rounds out of it and it gave up. Very funny. Mark says 49 quid for that, exactly. I'm not paying £49 for one. I'll spend up to £30 on the George Foreman grill. Up to £30. 90 quid one of them was on there in Argos. Jason says eat some cake. No, not eating any cake. I had too much last week. There was one particular day we went mad. We had chips, this fried cheese and potato thing there was. Then we had an ice cream and donuts all in one meal. Shocking and horrifying. Shocking, Jason. Laura says, I shared you across the world. I think I've shared myself across the world, to be honest, Laura. Sadly, not recently, no, by anyone. Laura says it might go nuts. Won't be able to keep up if the live groups start watching. I hope so. It might happen one day, Laura. Oh, you're lovely. Laura and I couldn't be more politically different, could we, Laura? But we get on like it. This is the other thing, you know, how some people can't get on with people who aren't exactly the same as them. And there's a lot of those people around now as well. And it's very sad. It's very sad. Funnily enough, I was having this conversation with Can Ken and his wife Elaine. Now, Can Ken is called Can Ken because he keeps saying, come round the caravan with me and my wife. We'll have a can together. Well, I don't drink. Certainly not cans of lager, dear. You know, make me a cup of tea and I might be interested. Oh, he is funny, Ken. And while I was helping him with the gazebo yesterday, because I was the youngest one out of 5, thank you very much. Youngest one out of 5. While we were having this conversation, I was saying how differences of opinion used to mean nothing really. You could take an example, any competition, but these days a competition or an election or a referendum like the Brexit vote, anything like that, or just a competition, X Factor, even down to little karaoke competitions or something like that. Right, what used to happen was you would do whatever the competition was. Let's take the general election, okay? You would have this general election and you would cast your vote. And then someone would win. And the people that voted for the one who didn't win would be like, we didn't win. Well, we'll just get on with it and maybe next time. And that would be the end of it. Same with going back down to the other end, karaoke competitions. Or singing competitions, talent competitions. You'd have the talent competition, you'd have a load of kids on the stage and all that. At your local school, the competition would happen, and the winner is... Well, it will probably be me, let's be honest. It will probably be me winning a singing competition. It's Chris Redden, everyone would clap, and, you know, all the other kids would be there. We didn't win. Never mind, Harry. You know, off we go. Never mind, Mark. Off we go. Something like that. And that would be the end of it. Not anymore. Not anymore. People moan and they scream and they shout that they should have won and that you shouldn't have won. Whether it's your child who just entered some school competition or the general election or the Brexit vote. Not anymore. We didn't win. Well, that's the wrong thing. You know, the fact that the majority of the people voted for this, voted for that, or chose that child to win on the school stage is neither here nor there. You should have won. No, let's go and make placards and demonstrate and throw stones and all that. I don't know how that changed. Is it to do with social media, do you think? Facebook, you've only got to fire up Twitter and see the filth and the moaning that comes out of people's lives because they've lost something. They've gone in some sort of competition and they've lost. Karaoke competitions are the worst. I don't do them. I refuse to do them now. I will never do another competition again for karaoke. You have all these people singing. The competition runs for one night, over a series of nights, maybe a few weeks, and then you get your winner. And you start getting emails from people telling you how they were the best singer, like the email writer. I was the best singer and I should have won. I can't believe that you let Sammy Joe win that. He was terrible. Honestly, I kid you not. I'm not coming to your karaoke anymore because I didn't win. What planet are these people on? And of course, at the other end of the scale, Brexit and all that business. They're up in London with placards and things and all this business. We didn't win. We're not happy. We didn't win. Just get on with your bloody lives, you sad, pathetic load of people. Honestly. Doesn't matter. What are we going to get next? We'll have a Labour government next time. I'm sure of that. I'm pretty sure of that. You know, and I'll cast my vote. You know, and Labour get in. Oh, well, someone else has got in this time. Oh, well, never mind. Let's get on. I'm not going to start walking up through town with placards and things like that. What on earth is all that about? Why can't people just accept, you know, the competition has been held. There's the winners. Let's get on with it. We'll do it again next year, 4 years' time, 2 months' time, whatever. But not anymore. No, people start marching around the place and, oh, it's a disaster. So I absolutely refuse now. And people just, oh, you must do a karaoke competition. They only, you know, I think that the only people that ask for a karaoke competition are those that are convinced they are going to win it themselves. I think most of the people that come to karaoke, certainly at Central Station, think they are probably average singers who have no chance of winning a singing competition, as I do myself. Sometimes I do. I like to play up. I like to play up, and I'll stand on the stage after singing my song, and I'll say, well, that was probably the best moment of your entire week, wasn't it? Having me sing like that. I can see how wonderful I was. Perhaps you'd like me to sing another song, at which point everyone, no, get off! It's all part of fun. It's part of the fun. I like to send myself up. And I think you'll find most people who certainly come to my karaoke nights at Central Station think they are average singers who have no chance at all of winning a competition. Most. Not all. Most. They probably don't want a competition. In fact, it's been said before, I have done competitions before, years ago now, and some people stop coming and you get in contact. Oh, you've stopped coming. Oh, well, you've got a competition on at the moment and I don't think I'm good enough to win it, so I won't be coming until after the competition. So it can work the other way as well. It's only people who are convinced that they are totally and utterly the best thing singing since sliced bread, who are convinced they will win it. They're the only people who want karaoke competitions. And when they don't win, oh, Christ, do you think the world was going to end? You really do. So no competitions. I haven't been doing your text. Has anyone texted in this morning apart from Maureen? Let me just check. Because I sometimes miss the texts rather badly. I should keep an eye on the little phone. No one else. It's just you this morning. Thank you very much for that. Paul says 55 mile an hour on the motorway. You'll be towing a caravan next. Yeah, possibly. Good morning, social media, John. He's up on Periscope this morning. Morning, John. Right side up. Good morning from Ontario in Canada. Hello to you, sir. Welcome to the show. John says you are awful, but I like you. Dick Emery. Oh, wow. You'd never be allowed to do that these days. If you want a laugh, please go on YouTube or order the Dick Emery show on DVD. He is hilarious. Great entertainer from the 1970s. Absolutely hilarious. You want to laugh, watch the Dick Emery show. All right? John says, I remind him of Sid James. Oh, bless this house. Dirt and the Carry On films. Excellent entertainer, Sid James, I tell you. Mark says, I love your background. Thank you, Mark. There's a new background, which I'll be taking you up to Lincolnshire with us. It's actually a blown-up photo I've done of somewhere near the Caravan. I won't tell you where it is. Wait till you see that. Hopefully, I'll have it up Tuesday morning or maybe Wednesday morning. One of those two. Okay? You might not get a show Tuesday morning because I'm finding that a bit of a struggle fitting everything to Tuesday. But we'll see. We'll see. Adam says, can we have a sofa sale? There are no sofas for sale, Adam. Mark, we have to celebrate the losers as well as the winners. Yes, and I'm a loser, Mark. I am a loser. I'm a loser. As my niece says, hello, loser. That's my niece. She calls me a loser. Outrageous. And then, of course, her kids do it as well, George and Emily. Chris, you're a loser. You're a loser. Dear. Ben, we live nowadays in the age of entitlement. Everyone firmly believes they have the one and only opinion or right, all down the removal of competition at a young age. They all believe they have an equal opinion and ability. Well, they do. And I'm afraid the world is not like that. You've got to find out. I believe everyone, Ben, has an ability of some sort. You have to find what yours is. Mine, you could argue, is perhaps talking. I can play the piano a little bit. I can do things like that. Mine is not playing football. It is not doing DIY or, dare I say, man-type things. That some of the girls are good at as well, of course. Fixing cars. I'd love to be able to strip down a car into parts, put it together again and make it work. I'd love, but I have not got the patience. I haven't got the patience to paint a wall. Really. So other people, men and women, are good at decorating. Fantastically good at decorating. I could paint the wall, but it wouldn't be anything like the bloke who painted the wall downstairs. You know, fantastic job. Morning, Chris. Chris Hartley, handyman. Welcome to Chris, and Dean Rogers is there. Good morning, Dean. I haven't seen you for a while now. Mark says, no child now experiences are losing. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. What's the time? Oh, gosh, it's 10 past 11. All right, I'll do today's birthdays. We haven't done any of the stories, have we? Sure I had something else to show you here. I showed you the lead. Showed you the... Oh, that was it. That was it. All this stuff comes through the letterbox, doesn't it? Look at this. If you're in Bracknell, do you like... I'm a bit of a fan of Lego. I've got some Lego here that I made, my little bus and my truck. I might take my truck down to the Caravan, actually. Look at that. And the door opens. And the back of it opens. It all opens up. It's got an inside as well. Oh, they've got a new Lego. Hogwarts Castle. 350 quid. Who's got that? 350 quid. Hogwarts Castle. Hogwarts Castle, is it? That's the new Lego that's out at the moment for 350 quid. The new one. Yes, very nice indeed. But Lego, they're doing some sort of demonstration type thing here. Starts on the 1st of August. Is that Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday or Tuesday next week. And this is at the Bracknell Shopping Centre. Join us at the Lexicon. That's what we call our shopping centre. The Lexicon. Join us at the Lexicon to see the incredible Lego brick safari animal sculptures around the town from the 1st to the 14th of August. Enjoy our safari craft workshops and follow the animal treasure hunt to be in with a chance of winning Lego prizes. So they've got all this happening, see? Look at that. Fab, isn't it? It says they've got a craft workshop as well. I suppose that's for the children. And can you complete the treasure hunt around the shops by finding the 10 smaller Lego brick animal sculptures for your chance to win an amazing prize? So that's something if you want to do that. Of course, that'll all be free. You can just walk around the town centre here in Bracknell and do the Lego brick safari. All right? Mark says, are you moving to the Caravan? That's a good question, Mark. A very good question. One which I cannot answer at the moment. I'm just sampling life up there and life down there. I got to tell you, people up north are a hell of a lot friendlier. than they are down, certainly in London. Even around here, people aren't particularly friendly. You know, you walk past people and they just give you the most filthy looks. Doesn't seem to happen, certainly in the country. Maybe Boston. Now, Boston is near. That's not so friendly. But even there, people talk to you. You know, definitely people are friendly up north. I walk around that caravan. Well, you can't walk around the caravan site from one end to the other without 10 people saying good morning to you or striking up a conversation of something. Oh, you're new here, aren't you? And finding out about you and all that. Even cycling. I was cycling along the river. Far too hot to be doing such a thing on Thursday or Wednesday last week. And even going along there, you know, cars, it's quite a narrow road. So if it's a great big lorry, you've literally got to just move to the side. And they wave. You're cycling along and people just lift a finger like that and wave to you as you're going along and you nod to them. Don't happen in London, does it? Not with the death cyclists going around in London in their lycra. What do they look like? Dear me. Mark's in Boston. No, not Boston in the USA. No, Boston in Lincolnshire. Some very, very strange people walking around there. There are. All right, today's birthdays then, boys and girls. I think there's quite a few birthdays today, if I remember rightly. Yes, 11, 12. 12, unless we've got some doubles on there. Happy birthday on this, Saturday, the 28th of July to Kevin. Kevin Dilvalda is 40. Can you believe you're 46 now, Kevin? But still 9 years behind me, mate. Happy birthday, Kevin. Nice to see you on there, sir. Susan Groves, I think you're one of our lovely Manilow ladies. Good morning, Susan. Happy birthday to you. Slavo Volek, good morning. Happy birthday. David Hitchen is 68 years old today. Gary Hyde is 51 years old today. Theo Williams, happy birthday to Theo. Leon Anthony is a young 45 years old today. Good morning, Leon. Are you still in Roehampton? Happy birthday to you. Barry Barnes, 36 years old today. Louise O'Connor, happy birthday. Young Sky, who I used to work with at the Black Cap. Don't think I don't forget people, Sky. 40 today. Happy birthday, Sky. Everyone fancied you, didn't they, when you were working at the Black Cap behind that bar? Shaune Kennedy, good morning, Shaune. Happy birthday to you. Hope you're doing well. Whatever, I don't know what you're doing, actually, whether you're working or not. Happy birthday, Shaune. And Ali Tamplin is 37 years old today. So they're all the birthdays today. Shall we sing, gang? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. There we are. There's all our birthdays this morning. Barker on Vaughan Live, I think it is, said, Chris, why are you casting? Because I can. Because I can. That's why. Chris says, I'm a pro singer from Lancashire. Lancashire. I've got a friend who lives up there, Wendy. Wendy lives in Leyland in Lancashire. Chris is from Lancashire, performing for over 11 years. Then moved to Kent 2 years ago. A different ball game altogether. Nice people, but more reserved compared to people in the north dancing on the tables. Yeah, I'd love to get a karaoke night up north, actually. Skegness or somewhere like that. I would imagine you can only do it for the summer season, but yeah. I mean, that must be great doing karaoke up north. I've never done karaoke up north. I wonder if I can get a gig up there sort of at some point, maybe, you know. Good morning to Angela, who says, I came 29th in a golf tournament of 180. You told me that the other day, Angela. I remember you saying that. Barker says, what do you expect to happen from your casting? TV or radio? Very unlikely, Barker. Very unlikely. You know I'm not good enough to do that. Someone would have employed me by now. After doing this for so many years, no, not good enough. Not what people want, I'm afraid. Very niche. Very niche, I think is the word we're looking for. Thanks very much for joining us on the show today. Hopefully see you again at some point tomorrow morning for another little bit of a chit-chat. Been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I'm off now into town. I've got to go to the... actually, I've got to pop to the bank this morning as well. Get my stuff from the chemist. And Hoover. The Hoover is standing by. I'll see you again very soon. Have a nice day. Bye-bye now.